Coming up in the month of September, there will be some amazing opportunities for our community to step up in a very special way, and that is to give the gift of life, to give blood. And we're here to talk about a couple of blood donation opportunities for the community on this episode of Checking In with Jeff Davenport, brought to you by Ssvec, Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, serving our community. Today we are checking in inside the beautiful office of none other than Dr. Sean Phillips, the CEO of Vista Medical Center. We have Dr. Maratz here with us as well. We have Dr. Samantha Bivens and Dr. Jeff. We're all here. Oh, you're not a doctor?
I'm not a doctor.
Oh, doggone it. Oh, neither am I. But we'll play one on TV for this instance right here. Dr. Bivens, yes, exactly. See, Samantha,
good.
this is, I know, doesn't it have a ring to it? Samantha, talk to us about what you do for the Red Cross.
So I'm an account manager, and my territory covers all of Eastern Pima County, all of Cochise County, Graham, Greenlee, Southern New Mexico, and El Paso, Texas. My job is
that's a very small territory.
It's tiny. It's tiny. My job is to work primarily with those who host blood drives in this area and help them get the tools that they need to be successful in hosting those drives.
And let's talk about those drives very quickly before we talk about the importance of this. Coming up on Friday, September 6th, that's going to be a big one. And our mayor of Sierra Vista will be directly involved in that.
Yes. Mayor McCaa and his lovely wife Ramona are hosting a giant blood drive over at the Sierra Vista First Church of God on the 6th of September. That's next Friday from 9 till 3. And you can show up. You can walk in, but we do request that people make appointments if you can, just if you need to be cognizant about your time.
Yeah, and then there will be another one that Canyon Vista will be hosting in September.
Correct. Later in the month on 9/20 from 9 until 2, we're going to be right here parked in that parking lot on our fabulous Bloodmobile hosting a blood drive right here as well.
How important is it, Dr. Maratz? You are someone who deals with this all the time. You see these patients who come in who need transfusions of some sort or need blood for whatever reason. How important is it to have donations being made on a consistent basis?
It's hugely important. We have severe shortages here in Arizona, and there's no other substitute for blood. It's something that it's a community resource. It is a very personal way that you can give back to your community. And don't just do it once, do it a couple times a year or become a regular donor. And you'd be surprised how often it is we get a message from the Red Cross, hey, we're in short supply. And sometimes we get that down to where we have very few things of blood. If we get a bunch of trauma, that could be, a bleeding mother and, child from the OB, or a trauma case, somebody that has a GI ulcer. We can go through a lot of blood, and sometimes there's not much available. So I've had to call up, our resources in the Red Cross and say, well, what's available? Can you give us, because they're telling us that you don't have any more. They usually do, but they have to, maybe bring it down from Phoenix or somewhere else, just so we have a couple units. And we've never run out of blood, but we've gotten close, temporarily. So, let's get that margin back. So, and it's really gone down since the pandemic. So we need people to start stepping up and realizing that this is their community. And that's why we're here talking about this.
Samantha, talk about what is the current blood shortage? Yeah, what is it?
We are in a current blood shortage right now.
In our area.
And nationwide and in our area. Since most blood collected in a local area stays local first before being sent elsewhere, that means that we're in a shortage right now. Currently, we have about less than a 5-day supply on our shelves at the moment, and we've been battling this shortage since July 1st. So it's been 2 months. Post-pandemic, about 10% of the available population who could give blood were giving. After the pandemic, now only 3% of that population are giving. We've lost about 20% of donors for some unknown reason. Something's happened out there, and the number one reason why people don't give blood is because they're never asked. So doing things like this, hosting blood drives for your community, being a blood donor, and if you can't be a blood donor, volunteering at those blood drives It's a big circle because we really are in all of this together.
And that's why we're asking today that you would be a part and consider being a part of these blood drives coming up on September 6th and September 20th in the Sierra Vista area. Dr. Sean, thinking about how you work within this system, you work with your physicians, you work with the Red Cross, and being at the head of the table, how does it all come together? How do you see it working in communities and throughout this area to keep people having the blood that they need for these traumatic situations?
Well, and it starts with that supply, and that supply comes from our community members. And, it's a decision for each and every person to whether or not to donate, but we do encourage people to donate and donate often if they are healthy enough to do so. The American Red Cross goes through, an extensive process to correctly identify, process blood products, make sure they're safe for utilization. That is an expensive process, but it starts with donors coming forth and offering that gift of life that blood gives. Obviously, there's been a lot of conversation about blood alternatives, and from a pharmaceutical standpoint, we've created different volume expanders. We've created concentrated factors to help people clot when they need clotting factors. But when you need blood, you need blood. Of course, taking blood, that is, some religions prevent their followers from receiving that. We take that all into consideration. You'll never be forced to have a product that you are objected to receive here at Vista Medical Center. But for those, when they need it now. They need it quickly. So hearing that 5-day supply on the shelf, that is very concerning for this community and every community across our system. We don't waste any units of blood. If we borrow from each other here in Cochise County, so we will pull units from Copper Queen. Copper Queen will need some units. We get them over to them. When items get close to expiring, we get them back to the Red Cross, so they're used at the trauma centers in Tucson that go through a lot of product. So we manage this resource in a very, very conscientious way to make sure that we don't waste a single unit that's donated by our community and use it throughout our community.
Before we started this video, Dr. Morales, we were talking off camera about how Dr. Sean just mentioned we do have replacements for a lot of different things. We're able to create synthetically a lot of different things, but there is no replacement for human blood.
No, there isn't. And there's, several components, which one is the red cell, which carries your hemoglobin and that carries your oxygen, and without it, you're in trouble. They've had research programs where they spent years trying to develop some alternatives, and unfortunately they failed. Whether or not we'll get another push, it would be nice to have something that you don't have to ask people to come in, but there's nothing on the horizon. And there's certain other things like platelets and stuff like that we have to get from blood. So another type of cell in addition that helps you clot. So we need it, and sometimes we need it very badly. So.
One of the big things that we've launched is the Sickle Cell Initiative. And that is to specifically target and help our sickle cell patients, which is our largest blood disease out there. It affects primarily our African American and Black communities, and we are really putting the word out to diversify our blood donation population as well as what we already have coming in. About 100,000 people in the United States are reputed to have sickle cell anemia, and 1 in 3 African American descent or of our Black community folks actually test positive for the trait and can directly help those patients. This is a lifelong disease. It causes extreme pain. It can be fatal. And those people who are suffering from it can take up to 100 pints of blood a year.
Oh my goodness.
Just to keep going every single day.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. We are putting out there with the Red Cross, in addition to all of our extensive testing, if you self-identify at one of our blood drives as our African American community or Black communities, you can get free sickle cell trait testing.
Wow.
And that's about 70% of our population of African American and Black folks out there who have not been tested and do not know whether they carry the trait or not. Hospitals started testing for it in about 2006, but there was a whole bunch of people born before that.
Right.
Yep.
So that's another way you can come and give. And if you do carry the trait, we will pay very special attention to you to make sure your blood goes to those people who need it the most.
Let's talk about the blood types. Now they talk about O neg. That's if you test as blood type O negative, that is the universal donor, correct?
Right, yeah,
So
very good.
I'm the trivia king, so
too.
right here. Yes.
O neg.
Yes.
Me too.
So how? I mean, my gosh, we have it on us to be able to put forth as much as we possibly can to donate. Is the reason why we donate for the cookies and juice, or is it beyond that?
Definitely not for the cookies and juice. Don't get me wrong.
They're usually
it's a
great.
high quality juice.
Delicious.
That's much
But
appreciated.
no. It is really kind of a calling now. As an O negative person, I've been donating blood pretty consistently since I was 18. I'm a multi-gallon donor across my life. And
Yeah.
we actually, back in Michigan, got pins,
Yeah.
for how many gallons we donated.
I think they still do that, right?
Yeah, you do have to call and ask for it,
Okay.
but yes, you do get a pin if you
Yes.
hit your gallon
Amazing.
marks.
Yeah, so, but it's not just the O negs out there.
Right.
So obviously, that's, sir, about 6% of the population or so is O negative.
7%, about 7% of the
Yeah.
population.
Okay.
So about 7% of the population is the universal donor, but it doesn't matter. If you're AB positive, someone can use that. If you are, B negative, someone can use that product. And because of how blood is processed, those components that come out of the blood can also be used, across multiple patient types as well.
Right.
And being able to use that with any patient that is in need. It could be our family. It is our family because it's in our area. This is our family. This is our home here in Sierra Vista in Cochise County.
Yeah, and Dr. Murat can talk through kind of like what we do here at the hospital around, when a person first comes in and needs blood, but then once we get some lab results back, we can fine tune their blood utilization.
Yeah,
as well.
what we do is we house all the common types of blood that you have, which is ABO, positive and negative. B positive, that's my motto and my blood type. So I don't know, I forget what percentage is B positive.
Pretty small. It's like 3%.
Yeah, so,
it's
I
a
think-
rare one.
Yeah, but we have some of each on our shelves, and we try to utilize it to match it to the same type blood. But it turns out we get lucky that O negative can be given to everybody. So we love to have that, but we try to get it all, and that's the whole part of the what we do here is that right away we're going to type your blood if you're going to be needing blood, and know what type you have, know what we have on the shelf, and make sure we have stuff for you at all times, and make sure it's what we call a cross match compatible. So we make sure the bloods are compatible, and so we do that regardless of what type it is. So,
Well, Samantha, let's before we wrap this up, let's talk about maybe some fears that people have about donating blood. How can we help overcome that in order to help our community?
So the largest fear people have is I'm afraid of needles, which is totally normal. I don't know anybody who wakes up in the morning and says, oh, I want to go get stabbed today. It'll be fun. It's a normal fear. The thing is that we have health history available there. If you show up to donate blood and you do not fit the criteria, or you're hyperventilating and freaking out, we're not going to let you donate. We're not in this to hurt people. You can always ask for our most experienced phlebotomist when you arrive on site. We will help you out, and you can tell us that you're nervous. We will be there to take care of you every step of the way. And last but not least, I always tell people, you might be afraid of a needle poke in your arm, but think about those people laying in a hospital. How afraid are they right now because they need your blood product? 1 in 7 people will need blood in their lifetime. That is somebody you know, that is somebody you love, that could even be you someday. So it's really easy just to roll up a sleeve, the actual needle in your arm, 4 to 6 minutes, all the cookies and juice you can eat afterwards. The blood drive on the 6th. Every donor coming in will get an American Red Cross t-shirt.
Oh.
And they will get entered into an Arizona only, regional only drawing to win 2 tickets to see the Cardinals play in Phoenix on the 29th. And for the blood drive here at Canyon Vista, you're going to get a $15 merchant e-gift card, as well as that same drawing opportunity for those who are 18 and over. So make that appointment. Come on in, save some lives, get a t-shirt. It's really easy.
Well, I don't know how better to wrap this up other than that. Just encouraging your friends, encouraging your family, and please do us a favor to share this video around. Let people know that these blood drives are coming up. You can see the details in the post description of September 6th over at Sierra Vista First Church of God in Christ, Mayor McCaa's church. And then a couple weeks later on the 20th, right here at Canyon Vista Medical Center, you can be a part of giving the gift of life by simply donating blood and getting all the cookies and juice and then entering to win, getting a free t-shirt and entering to win Cardinals tickets. We know that those are priceless. We know that, well, especially, depends on who they're playing. But anyway, thank you guys so much for letting us check in with you guys today. Dr. Maraz, Dr. Sean, Dr. Samantha, Dr. Jeff, Dr. Natoya behind the camera. You guys are all amazing. And thank you for what you do in our community to help keep this word out, that if you are ready to donate blood, now is the time. These are two great opportunities. And thank you for watching this episode of Checking In with Jeff Davenport, brought to you by SSVEC, Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, serving our community. Give the gift of life anytime you possibly can. Perhaps September 6th, perhaps September 20th, perhaps both, if you are ready and available to do it. Again, thank you for sharing this video. But you can, right? Can you do both?
No.
No time frame? No? Then don't do both.
Weeks.
Yes.
Then don't do both. Do one or the other. You can pick. You can choose, and then give the next month. Right? What is the time frame of giving?
56 days between donations.
56. So add 56 plus September 6th, and you got, I don't know what that is off the top of my head, but you can keep giving. Be a multi-gallon giver, just like Dr. Sean. Get your pen from Samantha and show that to the world. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. We'll check in with you again later on. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Woohoo! Yay! Awesome! Yay! That was great. Oh my God.